How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. One of our co-hosts is running a little behind, but he'll be joining us in a little bit. For now, I'm Caster MJ, and along with me, I have Deadly.
Yo.
And this is actually our 25th episode, which I'm kind of surprised we made it to 25 episodes. It seems like it seems like a large number now that we're doing it. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that we did stick around, though. Before we get into our topics this week, as usual, I'd like to just let everybody know that this podcast is sponsored by Immortal Workshop. If you're shopping Metazoo, shop Immortal Workshop. You'll be able to find an affiliate link in the description below, which will give you a little discount off of your product there. Also, Immortal Workshop is sponsoring a giveaway on this channel, and we are only 9 people away from being able to do the giveaway. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So once we get to 250 subscribers, we are going to be giving away either a wilderness, what is it called? Revive box. Yeah, Revive. There's too many products.
Or a native BB?
Yep. Yeah, native booster box there. So
oh my gosh.
Your choice,
Some value.
Yeah. So this week, as the title says, we're pretty much just going to be talking about our experience that we had at Earth Tower. And we'll be going over some news that we found out about the Forest Tower and anything else that pops up along the way as well. But for those who don't know, myself and Deadly were both playing in the Earth Tower.
That's what you want to call it.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. We were present. And our third co-host, who is not yet here, was just there as a content creator. So all 3 of us were able to be there, and we kind of have different experiences. And even as players, we probably even had different experiences, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Deadly, I'm just going to pass it to you, man. Tell me just off without like anything specifically, like when you're thinking of the Earth Tower and how it went and everything like that, like what comes to your mind?
I think it rolled out pretty well. Games really just consistently came. I think we played 2 games and then we went on lunch, which I didn't like actually, because I was like, first off, I had 2 losses right off rip, and I was just like not interested in eating at that point. I was like, no eating. Let's go to the next one, see if I'm even, eligible. Like, let me just see how bad this really is.
Yeah.
We had lunch, and then we came back, and then we started playing again. It pretty much just ran relatively smoothly, I think. I don't really remember too many hiccups. I know there was something all the way at the end, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. The players were all, nice enough. I don't know if you want to get into like the deck builds and what we saw.
Whatever you want, man.
Every time you go into one of these, you feel, at least for me, I feel a little bit, I say this one specifically, I guess I felt like unprepared with the set drop and deck building the day before, literally the night before. That made me feel very unprepared. And I felt like with what we had and what we did relatively decent. We did see a bunch of worms, which ended up being pretty viable in this whole tournament. A lot of people had worms, which at the last second, I think we diverted from worms and we just went straight giants. Like that's where we went. And we added a couple of the native spells or the native artifact, Giant's Blood, which was good, but you really didn't have to jump and add that extra damage is what we figured out. You wanted to replace that with potentially more board presence, like more beasties that they had to deal with, rather than just having like one giant beastie out or like 2 or 3 beasties with like 2 giants and the Tenihan or whatever. So overall, I felt like we had a relatively strong deck. There were some decks that were similar builds to ours that made it to the top 32. So
Yeah,
also
I
had some luck involved as well.
I heard stories of people with the exact same deck on the same team, and somebody ended up at like the bottom and somebody ended up at the top on day two, and they had the exact same deck build,
Yeah.
and they're both on a sponsored team, so I'm assuming they both know how to play the game and know how to play the deck.
Yeah.
And
My
yeah,
first,
just some
my,
luck. Some luck is involved, you know.
yeah. If you go into my first game, I'm pretty sure. So I lost the first one. I lost the dice roll. Lost the first one. Like he just got a bunch of burrowed beasties out. Then I ended up trading in some earthquakes, which I feel like I didn't even need because I think he just had a really good start. Because earthquake is like you got to pull it, you got to play it just to be able. Maybe I could have put like 2 in there just to counteract his like late game or something.
Yeah,
But what ended up happening because I destroyed him the second game, like I just had Tenny Han, like just flooded the board myself. Then we went to game 3, and the thing that really bothered me, and clearly it's just Metazoo, but dice roll paralyzed every single time. Dice roll head, dice roll head, dice roll head, and I couldn't get myself to win one of those, which would have saved me potentially to be a little bit better off in that third game. So
yeah,
that has to do with luck.
yeah,
Second game, I played Kevin Lou, who actually I think ended up third place. And what I didn't have the counteract, because he didn't have any native in his deck. He had 0 native. And which he splashed in Morpheus and I think Tommy Knockers, and he did it just straight with prisms and a hard spirit aura. And that is what I would do if I was to splash. I would do one hard aura of the splash, and I would do the 2 prisms and just
yeah,
kind of do a light drop. And he got me with a Morpheus in the third game, and I was sitting there just drawing, top decking like nothing. I do think I made a mistake in that game because I dropped down my artifacts and I didn't need them. I think I was getting frustrated and I was like, all right, I'm just drop 2 of them. He killed one, he absorbed the other. And then it got to a point where I could have put out another one of my giants if I had that because I had an absorb in my hand. So if I played that, absorbed it, and then he had the earthworm too, so he was locking up one of my auras. Which, yeah, that's how my first 2 games won. And then I won the next 3. And then the fourth one I lost. And that's what pushed me out. So luckily I had a run where I won 3 in a row and I wasn't completely out. For anybody that wasn't there, you can eventually do the math on how many players you have and how many wins you're going to need to how many points you're going to need, because each win in a match is 3 points, and then you can figure out whether or not you're going to place or what you need to place. And we've later on figured out, I think it was 5 and 2 was guaranteed, 5, 4, 1 and 1, like a dice roll. Like there was half did it, half didn't. I think you needed like 15 points or 14 points, and 15 was guaranteed.
Yeah, and I was the only one on the team that won the first game, and I finished last out of everybody on the team. And again, no, I came behind him by like two or 3 places or something like that, just because of the percentages of like how that stuff works. You know what I mean?
It's who you're playing, how good they do. It goes into a whole bunch of algorithms.
Yeah. So because of all that stuff, I came in last for the team actually. But the only 2 games that I won. What's up, Ian?
Who invited this guy? I'm out.
The only 2 games that I won though. First off, there were games that I won 2-0, which that has nothing to do with my next point, but there were also the only 2 games that I won the first die roll for who goes first. Yeah, so again, some luck had to do with it in a way, you know what I mean? But yeah, overall, from my experience, Ian, we're just talking about our experience with playing and stuff like that for right now.
Your experience with losing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But overall, what I was going to say, I had a great time at the event. I I had a much better time. I had a much better time at the Earth Tower than I did at last year's Caster Cup as a player, because that's what I have to reference it by.
I really like Caster Cup. I think
know.
Caster Cup is like the echelon of tournaments right now.
I agree, but I don't think it was as smooth. I think it was a little more chaotic.
Earth was really smooth.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Ohio
overall
was more chaotic than Earth.
Yeah.
I think overall it was a very, very good event. Very smooth. The venue was a little odd.
It was so weird.
It was a little odd. It was a little warm. It was a little dark. But
yeah, dude, I was playing like my games. Like one game I'll be playing, I was like I can see perfectly. Then I'm in another row and I like can't see anything.
Like what? Yeah.
Dark around here.
Yeah, that's what happens when it's at an art gallery. The lighting's like set up for paintings on the wall. You know what I mean?
Is that what that was like?
It's an art gallery. Yeah. But yeah, it was also a little warm in there too. Well, it was warm for me anyway. I run a little hot, but no,
chairs were not comfortable, Matrata. Like some of them started leaning in like this, and
some of them were broken. Yeah, some of them were a little broken.
Yeah, I think it depended on who was sitting on it last.
Probably. But yeah, even though I was losing, every person I played against was like the community like speaks for itself for this game in a way.
There was a few bad eggs in there.
No, actually, like everybody I played against was super cool, super chill.
Everybody that I played against was too, but when you get a little higher up,
yeah.
they're really good.
But yeah, no, everybody was really cool, super chill. A few people said they watched the podcast and shit,
Nice.
Which was pretty dope. They're like, yeah, I know who you are. I've seen your stuff before. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm sorry to hear that. But no, it was a fun event overall. And from what I saw deck wise, since you got into that a little bit, I didn't see anything that was really too crazy. I would say, honestly, I think
Hercules' deck I think was pretty wild.
Well, so his deck was honestly fairly normal for what it was. It's just that every single aura he had was a fusion aura or a special aura of some kind.
Gotcha.
But besides that, what he was running was fairly normal. But still, it took me by surprise with all those fusion auras. I was like, what is he going to do? Like, he can do anything now. You know what I mean?
Psychology's part of the game.
But yeah, no, he was playing Tehihans. He was playing the crazy spice he had was the Tommy Knockers, like you said. He had Tommy Knockers and he had growth. And that's what he was using the force. At least that's all I saw. Anyway, besides that, it was like Tehihans. He had worms. It was a combination of like just the good earth cards in a way. You know what I mean? Which honestly was a deck idea that I had, and even in my side deck, I had the cement worms, but I was trying to mess with just low drop beasties in general.
Right.
But I ended up going full giants, and it ended up screwing me over, honestly. But
is that because of things like Blinding Blizzard, or just in general, just didn't pan out the way you thought?
No. Never even saw that card, honestly. A few people did. It's not like it wasn't being played, but I never saw that card personally. No, what was happening with me was I feel like this happened to a lot of people. It's kind of just like whoever got control first, there was no way to come back type of thing. Yeah, we already mentioned that one. But yeah, so let's say I was going first, and I had a good hand, and I'm able to, drop a beastie first turn, and on second turn I can now drop like 2 beasties or something like that, and I could lightning in a bottle, and I could hit you twice, or kill what you dropped and hit you or something like that. Pretty much like already I won the game at that point. That's pretty much how, in my experience, like all of Towers went. It was just like whoever kind of was able to do stuff first. Yep. There was only one game that did not go that way for me, and it was kind of like a battle back and forth. But that was only literally 1 out of the 3 with one person out of the 8 games or 7 games or whatever it was, So like literally it was like the least common thing that happened the whole day for me.
Were they playing a different spell book than you had been facing that day, or was it just that's the way that game happened to go?
That's just the way that game happened to go, because of some New Year's New Beginnings action.
Yep.
So yeah, actually, I tried to play that one aggressively and New Year's early, and it kind of screwed him over where I was able to get ahead quick, and then he New Year's me and wiped my board out, and then ended up, I think he actually won it, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he came back and took that round, and I think I lost that game too. Now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think, because I won the others 2-0. So yeah, that wasn't one that I won. But yeah, for the most part, it was just like whoever got ahead won. You were able to tell it pretty soon. Yeah, that was just my experience, but I was losing to my own deck, and the only thing that was really like messing me up were the cement worms if I was being locked down, like Deadly was saying, which, I mean, we were expecting, but like not to the degree or the level, or we weren't prepared enough for it, I guess. I don't,
it plays out different, in the tournament with other people's builds. I think we were practicing against them, and we were kind of destroying them. But it just depended on the build. And then honestly, it was a build that we had prior. So people still had Armadillo Man in there, which he is just pretty, strong in general as well. And we, as a whole, I think, took them all out and replaced them with the
I wasn't there the day that you guys like built your deck and everything like that.
Yeah, we ended up actually building something very similar to yours.
Yeah, I took them out like a week before that, so it's kind of funny how it all played out.
Well, you were proxying, so you had. I wasn't even paying attention to those cards until I had it.
Tree is saying to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, I went as high as I can. I'm trying to be closer to my mic.
Gotcha.
I need to get a cloud lifter because it's a common problem with this microphone.
Do I sound clear to you?
Because I know what a cloud lifter is. So, Ian, what was your experience as a content creator at Earth Tower?
I had a great time. No, I did. I really did. Because for me, I'm not going as a player, right? So I'm not invested in that side of things. Maybe someday, I would like to actually go and compete at some point. Do it.
Yeah, you were afraid to just play the game, and now you're a good player. Now you're afraid to compete, and now we're going to get you to compete, and you're going to stop making content. That's what's
basically it's probably what's going to happen. Yeah. So it was great to be there for the community, and that's the part that I love about kind of going to these events and getting out and meeting people that I know that I've been talking to for a long time. I met Streamy Weenie at the Earth Tower. He was on a stream with me last night. Seeing Rob and Harley, Deadly, meeting you, MJ, for the first time. That's the stuff that I thought was really amazing. From a content creator perspective, though, the event was pretty smooth. We had the featured tables in a very good spot for taking pictures and recording videos and such with those windows. The only thing that I didn't think went well from a content creator perspective was the lighting. Because all of the players were in that back area. So even in the daytime... You had to
provide your own lighting, basically.
Yeah. And even in the daytime, there was such a huge difference between the featured tables and the spectators and where the signings and stuff was happening versus where the players were playing in this, like, basically back corner with no windows. So there was a little bit of natural light from far off from the windows, but a lot of it was yellow light from the track lighting.
Yeah.
And then when nighttime hit, it was all this yellow track lighting. Kind of had to adjust for that a little bit. And
very dimly lit.
And since it was, you guys were there, this. Since it was an art gallery kind of setup, it was very directional spotlights. So where the light was hitting was not ideal for playing a card game. So you had some tables that actually had light. You had like light in some of the walkways. But you had a lot of dark walkways. You had a lot of dark tables where people were taking out their flashlight to read the cards.
Yeah, I saw that a number of times.
So I think that was a little frustrating for some from a player standpoint, and for me, because I'm gonna have to do a ton of editing in post now, which is part of what I'm going through right now. Is okay, I have my stuff recorded, but now I have to take all of my footage and I have to adjust it all so it doesn't look bad.
Well, you were able to take a solid picture of me regardless of the lighting, so
we were in the good area with all the windows. Grand scheme, it's not that bad. From a content creator perspective, I had a great time. It was great to see everyone. There was a lot of good content. A lot of good opportunities to kind of feature some players playing the game, really.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of drama on day 2 with the finals, which is always good for content creation. You can talk about that
I left not right, but I left a little bit before that happened.
You did.
And I missed it. I mean, I saw it on the stream, and what happened, I was driving at the time. And you guys were going off in the chat, in the team chat, being like, I can't believe this is going on right now. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I'm pulling up the Twitch stream and stuff like that, and then I watched the rest of it on Twitch.
It was interesting.
But yeah, Deadly mentioned it before. So Deadly, why don't you let us know what the drama was, since you're more of a player and you were more in tune and watching it.
What was
the round 4 in the finals?
The finals that
that last one.
The drama. Yeah, we're talking about the drama now.
All right, yeah. I'm sure,
you just got so excited. You could see your face light up.
Well, I was me and Austin were sitting back, so okay.
You guys were about to leave.
So I was waiting to see, because we never got any free stuff. I went there second day, to watch some games and see if they were going to give out, a promo or two to watch. Nope. And I sat there the whole time and they didn't give me anything. Nope. But regardless of that, we got to see the excitement of the ending, which was super controversial. So basically, the whole day happened. Everything seemed to be going fine and smooth. We were watching the games and they had the spectator ones, the ones that were being streamed, and the last match starts. So they were playing first and second, and they were playing third and fourth. Third and fourth happened, and that one completed. And you had first and second going, and game 1 went. I think Herman won game 1, and then
game 1,
and then second was Abel, and Abel won game 2.
Yep. And
then they went to game 3, which is always what you want. Always want a good back and forth. You like
as a spectator, especially, yeah.
You don't want to see a blowout. That's how I am with sports. I really don't have a favorite team for anything. I'm watching a sports game, I want it to be as close as possible with as much excitement as possible.
Yeah.
So basically that's what was going on. You know what I mean? Very close, very back and forth. And everybody knows, Abel came out and won it. So the last play, or generally around the end of the match on the third game, they had played the new native Terra that does not allow you to lower the cost of any, beasties or any cards. The name of it. What was it called? Winter Blizzard. Was it?
Blinding Blizzard.
Blinding Blizzard. So that card was played by Abel.
Yep.
And he ended up playing. He played his Cement Worm for 1. Because I guess he either had a Cardiff out or something like that. Actually, no. This is what happened. What he played was Born from the Earth to bring it out.
That's it. Yep.
And then Born from the Earth says your next beastie you can play for 1 lower cost of the Terra bonus, or you can play for the lower cost for the Terra bonuses that are active. And I think that he played Cement Worm or something. And lower the cost, and they had actually had a judge rulement on it. So the judge came, they asked, I think Herman was just can he do that? I don't think he can do that. And the judge looked at it and said, no, it's fine, and then gave it back to him. And they went through, they played it, and Abel won. So that happened. I'm like leaving. I'm like, all right, cool, it's done. I'm getting my luggage, collecting everything.
And
then
I believe that went up to the head judge as well, which is important.
Did it go as far as the head? I think that, yeah. Well, I mean, it was the final game, dude. Everybody should have had their eyes.
Yeah,
for real.
Controversy in the last game of a tower event, like the top first and second, should have all eyes on it. Everybody who's watching it should be, you know, calling out errors or like. So it should have been seen. Which will go into my next like opinion about it. So me and Austin are chilling in the back, like they're getting all the things ready. They're walking out with a big like table with all the prizing on it, and I'm just sitting there, and I see some people over here talking. I think like Mr. Run It Up was talking with Abel. Like I think that they're like. So I'll go deep into it. So basically, I saw Mr. Run It Up go up to Herman, and I saw them having like a deep conversation. It's like he was still sitting in his seat from the game. And he's like looking at him, like listening. He's just like, And I think Herman was like, listen, he definitely wasn't like, he isn't allowed to do this. I know this for a fact. Something along the lines of that. I feel like that's the conversation that happened. I don't know, but that's what I have to assume happened. And then Mr. Run It Up went over, and I think they talked to Abel about it. But this was like had nothing to do about judgment. And they were just like, hey, like, we don't think like that actually, you know, you can do that. But he was like, congratulations, like, you just definitely deserve that. And then the next thing you know, because there was some like commotion going on with the judges and everything, next thing you know, they're like, can Abel come up to the front? like he's in trouble or something.
He's getting called to the principal's office.
Exactly, dude. And then the next thing you know, they're straight up running the game again, which was by far the weirdest call ever. Like that
started it over from scratch, right?
Third game, and the way they did it was that you weren't allowed the side deck. You had to have your beginning straight deck. There was no side deck.
Almost like sudden death, but a normal game instead.
Yes, a normal game, full 1,000. And I don't know if they had to roll again, which could have, you know, kind of be controversial as well.
I believe they had to roll again.
That's so wild. It's so wild that they would force that extra game. Granted, Abel came out swinging hard, and it was a quick game. It was definitely a quick game, which, you know, I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure Abel was like already ahead in that game, and I think that playing that like that blinding blizzard wasn't gonna like destroy any any lead that he had already.
Saying that you did have to roll again, and Abel did win the roll.
Perfect.
And that's, dude, if Herman had won the roll and it's flipped, there would have been massive. Like it would either way, like
it would have caused more drama.
Yeah, it would have caused more drama. So I think that the best way it happened was exactly as it Abel
how it happened. Yeah.
Again. But overall, it was a very weird interaction on that last thing. And my opinion is I'm not a judge or anything, but I read that card, and the way that Born from the Earth reads is the next beastie you play is for X less for the Terra bonuses. Mm-hmm. If you're playing that Terra, you've officially annulled Born from the Earth, and it can't happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for the judge not to see that, it's like, it's very just like, all right, Blinding Blizzard comes out, it has an effect for the whole arena, and then the card is like not like happens after. Even if it does, I think it still would be annulled. But like, I think that the way the card reads is very much like the next beast you play is for less, which you can't do. So I didn't know where that controversy came in and why they thought like it wasn't. But this is what. Go ahead.
This is my question, since we're talking about this, and do you think it was appropriate for a set so new?
That's what I was gonna say. To
be illegal
in
a tournament this close to the release, because if we didn't have this new card, the judges don't know the interactions and stuff like that as well. Like they literally, and I don't mean any offense to any MZO, don't take it that way. Like, I think they did a great job at the event overall, honestly, you know, and I think overall, like, the MCOs are way more knowledgeable than I am with the game and everything, and I ask them questions at the end of the day.
I had a weird interaction with one.
But because the set is so new,
mm-hmm.
they don't have the time to practice and learn everything, and like I feel like that has something to do with it, just personally. And this is nothing against the MZO that made the call, nothing like that. You know what I mean? This is just strictly I more so to Metazoo, with like releasing the set so soon, so close to a very important event, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
go ahead, I want to. Ian's making faces.
I'm making faces because I in this specific interaction.
I mean, you're in the MZO chat, even we're not. You know what I mean? So you know if they prepped more than we do, probably and stuff.
I have not been making attention to that chat for like 2 months.
Good for you.
Honest. Yeah, it's. I've had other things going on. I haven't judged in a while actually. But
played in a while either.
No, the reason I don't agree for this interaction is basically what Deadly said. If you just read the card, it's not like a complex interaction to figure out.
Cutthroat just posted here too, and I think that's very relevant.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly where I'm going. Is like, you know, by the end of day 2, they're tired. They may not have, you know, fully understood the interaction. You know, you're right at the end. I have some pictures of some of the MZOs just kind of like eyes glazed over in that last couple rounds, because it's just it's long. It's a long event. So, you know, for that interaction, I would say no. Like, I don't think it really mattered that native was new. It's just kind of read the cards and think through that interaction. But there are definitely some cards in native that do have some more complex interactions. Especially with some of the older cards and such, that, yeah, you know, it makes sense that I wouldn't do day 1, or rather day 2 of a set go into a Towers event. I was actually hoping there'd be a week between the release and then the tower.
I think that's fair enough. I mean, it's still close. Don't get me wrong. It's still relatively, like, everything speaking, that's a short amount of time. But for us players who are dedicated to the game, we can work with that, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what I'm saying, I guess, is I agree with you. Yes, it was too soon, but, you know, just not in that specific mistake.
Gotcha. Understood. No, that makes sense, though. It does. So I'll never forget my first, like, Metazoo event I did not play in. Deadly and I went to Orlando Collecticon last year. That was my first, like, Metazoo event. We were pretty new into Metazoo at the time, and we were, you know, full speed ahead with it and everything like that. And this is the first time. I'm not a Magic player. I'm not a TCG player. This is really my first TCG. I did play some Pokemon, but barely. Just the online one. And I was speaking with Speed Lemon, who, you know, at that point has won a few tournaments in Metazoo, and, you know, he was a good player and everything like that. And he goes, RTFC, man. And I was like, what the fuck?
I learned that from John.
I was like, what the fuck does that mean, dude? He was like, read the fucking card, dude.
He's like, never heard that before.
He's like, everything you need to know is on that card. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. You know, if you just read it and read it accurately, like punctuation, everything, it tells you everything.
90% of the time, that's true.
Well, this game is a little weird, yeah. So
even, I mean, I've heard some horror stories with some Magic rulings and stuff as well. But, you know, 90% of the time, yeah, it's read the card and understand what the card does and really think about it. But then there's things like the difference between contract and place. Right, the stuff that's not necessarily explained on the card.
True.
Or index was the new one that came out with UFO. You know, if you're just reading the card and don't know exactly what index means.
I think it was Seance that came.
What did I say? Did I say UFO? Yeah, it was Seance.
But yeah, no, you're making a fair point there. Deadly. You know what? I don't even have that question for you. I'm going to skip ahead actually to something else that I had. Ian, we're gonna go move past the drama and stuff.
I had one thing for the drama, which was
Okay.
the part that I didn't agree with is just doing the fourth game at all, because the tournament rules are already set up in a way that the judges call is final. If a mistake is made, you move on, and that's just kind of it. I get the controversy on that, on like literally the final game of a major tournament, but that was the problem that I had with it. Is okay, we already have these tournament rules, and how to handle that exact situation. You just own up to the fact that your judge made a bad call, and you move on. So
I do agree with that.
Yeah, and that's so I agree with Deadly that if it had gone to Herman after that fourth round, there would have been.
Oh, it would have been ugly. It would have been.
I would have been upset.
It already has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against Herman either. It's just like that's
no, not at all.
Why have these tournament rules? Why have
Herman is obviously a great player.
Herman's a great player.
They call him the GOAT for a reason, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the part that I kind of, drama wise had some issues with. Is I felt that the tournament rules were already laid out in a way that yes, a mistake was made, but the game was final.
Yeah, so. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. I'm the type of person where like honesty is always the best policy, and even like I say it all the time to people. Like even at my job, if I fuck up something, I go to my boss and I'm like, hey man, I fucked up this da 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 da. Yep. And usually it's like, okay, just don't do that again next time.
Just stop fucking up.
Yeah. But like whenever I'm like, oh man, like this and that, it's always like kind of this situation where people now are talking. You know what I mean? Yeah. I agree with you. Where they should have just been like, yeah, we fucked up. Mm-hmm. We're gonna learn from our mistake, and blah 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 blah, whatever the fuck, just have a statement or something like that,
Yeah, and then to immediately go into, hey, Abel, come back to the table. We're gonna make you play game 4. By the way, now sit down and play game 4. There should have been like a 10-minute break. Let him calm his nerves a little bit. Yeah, roll your destiny. No, but like you could see him there, like he, I'd be upset.
Yeah,
and he looked a little upset. He was kind of, his hands were shaking a little bit because the adrenaline's running at that point from that situation.
Yeah.
I felt like there should have been like and I know we were short on time because it was getting to the end of day 2, but there should have been a little break. Okay, calm your nerves a little bit and come back to the table. And
there was a huge break,
but he still did great, so I guess it didn't really matter.
There was a huge break in between the last one.
There wasn't a huge break in between him learning that he had to do the 4th game and then starting the 4th game.
Oh yeah, I mean, because they were like, how can we make this right really quick?
Yeah. Wasn't like imagine you get called back to the table, you learn that you didn't actually win, and then that you have to duke it out one more time. Like
I was talking to someone and they were saying like, what if Abel was just like, I refuse, like I'm like I won and game over. Like
I want to highlight this one right here. So again, I wasn't there. You two were. With Cutthroat,
I don't know if this is relevant because
that's what didn't they ask a judge?
This was ruled by an MZO. Like, they had actually
the person who was playing it made the moves, and the opponent was like, "Judge," like that type of thing, and like they physically.
And the judge says, "No, it's okay. He can do it."
Right. Yeah. So the player was trying to hold him accountable.
Yeah.
And again, that was Herman, and actually, I had the pleasure of getting to know Herman a little bit. We spoke before the event even started, day 1. Mm-hmm. I was speaking to Herman as well as Logan, his teammate. They run that team together and have the podcast together. And I just want to give them a little shout out. They were excellent guys. They were both great people. Super nice, and they have their own little podcast there, Meta Talks. So, mm-hmm. You could check them out. But yeah, they were both very, very nice, and I'm glad that I got to meet them day 1.
Yeah.
So I thought it was awesome that he made it to second place. Honestly.
Yeah. No. Congratulations to everybody that hit top 32. I mean, Esther, you did awesome. It's unfortunate that the first match you had the matchup against Easton, which is like super difficult. But at the end of the day, all of them did really well. I like the fact that I was hanging out and talking to other people in Ohio at the Water Tower, and I was talking to new people at the Earth Tower. Like,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, so like people that I hadn't interacted with. Obviously, not everybody's going to get to every single tower, but there are going to be select people that are going to be going to most of them, majority of them. Which I'm going to try and go to as many as possible myself. Which is it's definitely just cool to interact with more people and
Yeah,
people that are committed in the
I've said that before on the podcast, like when we talked about other collecticons or whatever it may be. Like that's the thing that I enjoyed the most about these events is just getting to meet other people. And at this event, I met some of the worst people like Ian, but some of the best people like some of the other players like you mentioned Esther, who runs I'm gonna blank on the podcast name, Towers Podcast. I had a great time, and he made it to top 32, like you mentioned, and he just happened to lose. First round, he faced one of the best players in the whole game. But yeah, like I had a great time getting to talk to him about his deck, talk to him about creating content. It was a lot of fun to reach out to different people. Even I've been talking to Tormentic for, I don't know, 6 months now, maybe more. I don't know, 9 months now, something like that. It's the first time I ever got to see him. And I had a funny interaction with him, actually, where he was like, I never knew whether to take you seriously or not. He's like, but after meeting you, I know never to take you seriously. Yeah. No. You shouldn't take me serious, But since we're already away from the drama now again, topic-wise, where I was going to go with was we already spoke about kind of like from a player aspect and how Deadly and I both agree, ran pretty smoothly for players in comparison to past events and everything like that,
there wasn't a single disqualification, right? That I heard of.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
That I know, yeah.
We had like 3 and
no, but everything just was almost on time, and pretty smooth, and less confusion and everything like that. We already got your point of view from a content creator standpoint and everything like that. None of us were kind of in this position until day 2, but I kind of want to get both of your opinions, and I'll say mine as well, on how you think the event was probably for spectators.
That was fun.
So my opinion was it probably wasn't that great actually for spectators. So
and they had streaming live, and they had the videos all set up just like they had in Ohio, which would have been. I mean, I guess they had the TV set up in Caster Cup, right? They had the feature table.
Yeah. They had that, and I believe it was even 2 tables the way they had for the towers. I could be wrong on that though.
I think that there was minimal spectators. I think there was minimal people there just spectating versus day 2 where the people that were playing became spectators, and it definitely turned into a lot more because we're all still interested in the game. I didn't see that many, that crazy amount of spectators compared to, I think, Ohio, which Ohio did have a festival going on at the same time, and Caster Cup was.
It's almost my point, though, in a way. Is like this one wasn't attached to anything. It was kind of a standalone. Again, it was in just like an art gallery with no art hanging up. So it was kind of, to me, if I was like, let's say if I invited my girl, who Deadly, she would have been bored out of her freaking mind.
Oh, she would have hated it. But she didn't like the game. She's not interested in it.
But I feel like that some people like that were there.
Yeah, from what I remember on day 1, there was probably a few I consider myself a spectator, because I wasn't doing content the whole time. The content the content that I do. I mean, I'm not like Harley. Harley's kind of in the moment. What's the experience? He's talking live and getting footage of himself and all that, right? The footage that I'm there to get is like news coverage footage. It's B-roll. It's panning shots of people playing games and stuff. I can get most of that in 20 minutes. So I wouldn't even say I'm necessarily primarily there as a content creator, but more of a spectator.
Okay.
But day one was a lot of spouses and partners and people that came with the players.
Exactly.
And I'm
yeah.
sure there were some people there that were just spectating, like I don't recall what their Discord name is off the top of my head, so that's a bad example. But like Tree Block brought his brother,
Yeti.
right? Yeti. So Yeti wasn't playing; he was there. He was hanging out, watching. Yeah, I don't know if he was watching like the feature tape was closed or anything like that, but there were a few people, and so I think you're right. I think primarily, this wasn't really a spectators event like Ohio was, and if they're not attached to festivals, I imagine that's roughly how it's going to go unless people are in the area for the event, especially if they're not giving out promos.
Yeah.
Right, so the promos were only given to spectators if you bought the $150 bundle that was on the MPN that you had to pick up there.
Was it 150?
$150.
Ooh, yeah, that's how much it was.
That's just a spectator ticket.
Wasn't
it $25 for a spectator ticket?
$25 for a spectator ticket, but that didn't come with the promos. The bag came with the promos.
How many native packs were in that bag?
0.
Oh, because I seen like I guess maybe it was just prizing. I thought I saw somebody say, "Oh, I got a spectator and player, all this stuff." They were like selling it, and they had like 4 like native spoilers, and I was like, "I only got 1."
No, there was no. It was a pin, a plushie, a mat, a hat, the 2 promos.
Gotcha.
I went there with the intentions of spending no money,
jersey.
And I spent no money.
Spent no money,
but I kind of regret not buying the hat. Honestly, I'm going to say that.
Poop hat.
I mean, you know me. I'm a hat wearer, and those are my type of hats. You know what I mean?
You love poop.
Wait, you didn't get a hat?
I didn't get anything. I didn't buy anything. I was a little upset as a player, and again, this is just me again comparing to Caster's Cup. I was a little upset that we did not get a playmat. I thought, and again, this is just
I was surprised by that.
Did it at Ohio too, which was when I got shot. I was like, they're not giving us a playmat.
Yeah. And so in Ohio, if I was there, I probably would have been even more shocked because they teased the artwork for the playmat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
They asked me my size they asked me my size for a jersey when I sent in when Ohio, when we had the water tower. They were like, say yes if you're coming and give us your jersey size. I was like, sick, I'm going to get a free jersey if I go. And no, I don't know what they did with my demographic on shirt size.
That's what they did at Caster's Cup. Like you got assigned your first match. The tables were all set up with the play mats already there.
Nice, Matt.
So you got assigned table 25. You go to table 25. You sit down. You got your play mat. The end of that game, you take your play mat. Now that's your play mat for the day.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. And those play mats are good quality. I still have mine. I love it.
These are too.
Yeah, I bet they are. And I got there, and I was like, oh, there's no playmats anywhere. And they were like, yeah, you can buy them. I was like, And then what I felt bad about was I saw people who didn't even have playmats playing in the tournament.
I didn't have one. I was like, hey, man, I got one in my bag if you want to use it.
Yeah, like I kind of felt bad, honestly. Like not like they didn't. It's not like they didn't have one because they couldn't like afford one or anything. They were expecting like the event to provide it type of thing, which I was too. But luckily, I just threw mine in my backpack because I thought it was good luck, but apparently it's not. So I'm bringing a different one next time. But
I mean, for the match that they had, which I'm getting my camera set up, it's not like it really does. I mean, it's cool, but it's not like it does much for you anyway. Why is that not working?
You got your lens on or something?
No. Give me 1 second. I have one here. It doesn't have any of the areas in it, so it's still just like playing on a blank table.
Wayward asked thoughts on the dice.
My thoughts
on. Did you get dice?
They were like if you ever do Pokemon and you know what ETBs are, they are the little dice in the ETBs.
OBS just quit.
And they are pretty cheap, I would say. That's a bigger one. That's a regular size dice. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's regular, but the other one, I literally just sold it. It was was like this big. Teeny.
I sold mine too, but yeah, it was not.
There were no mystery envelopes. I see you Cutthroat say that.
Yeah, no
When I
mystery
asked
envelopes.
him, I was like, wait, is there mystery envelopes? Because I want to buy one because I like mysteries. And there was nothing.
There was none, no.
There was none. No, I was
Oh,
surprised
no.
about the mystery envelopes, but at the same time was not surprised.
Oh no.
But yeah, so the mat, if you have it, or look at it on my screen here, it doesn't have any of the the play areas, so it's really not that different from not having a mat.
They gave
anyway.
all that stuff. They gave the dice and the caster badge
So
as soon as you signed in.
I actually learned something new. Actually, now that Ian's saying that there's no spots on the mat, I learned something new this tournament that I did not know.
You can put your stuff anywhere.
Well, that I did know. They got rid of. They got rid of the spell book. The archive thing.
That's been gone
Where,
for
like,
a while.
So I was playing in the beginning, like the first 2 or 3 games. I played with my archive right above my spell book, the way that it used to be.
I still play that way.
And the dude I was playing against, like, I don't know, game 3 or 4 or whatever, when they were like, you don't have to do that anymore. Like, you could push that off to the side where, like, your fourth walls are, and like you could use that extra space on your mat now and stuff. I was like, damn, I need that extra space on my mat.
I feel like it's technically, I would say a judge should, I think the judgment should be like not even have that on there, and it should be all the way on the side. It's just cause for error to happen. Cards get mixed up, some problem. You could pull from there and be like, hey, he pulled from his side deck. No, I didn't. Count your cards.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Noah.
Yeah.
I missed that. One of the cool things, seeing that Noah's here too, is seeing the handful of names that made top 32 both towers so far. So Abel, obviously some like Easton, Moldy, but Noah is also one of the ones that has made top 32 at both the Water Tower and the Earth Tower.
Yeah, Noah.
Great player. Yeah, great player. Shout out to you, Noah. So anything else we want to say about Earth Tower before I move on to the next topic?
No, I think we covered a lot of it. Not really a spectator event.
Yeah.
I
thought for spectators it was pretty boring. Like, there was, like, I don't know, 25 chairs set up or something like that, and a flat screen TV. And even me as a spectator, a few times I went to go try to watch some of my teammates finish their game after my game finished. I got told by a few judges, like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like, let them play their game. And I'm like, I'm just trying to watch my teammate, dude. Like, what?
I told the judge to
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. They're like, hey, let them be. Go. Get away. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. But yeah, all right. So on to the last topic of the episode.
Gee, we're at the last topic before the top of the hour?
Yeah. But it's kind of connected to the first topic. It's the news that we got about the Forest Tower.
Ooh, yeah. This is fun. Wayward had asked about it a while back in the chat.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Wayward had mentioned it earlier in the chat, so I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, he definitely said that.
Yeah.
Can we like what was the actual comment that he said? I can try and pull it up on Discord and go back.
What the announcement, you mean?
The actual announcement. Announcements. Let's go. All right. Do you want me to read it so
Sure.
everybody can hear?
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right. Metazoo Games at everybody. Next month's Forest Tower has been moved to the end of the year. Following the massive success of Earth Tower, we want to use the month of May to properly learn from the lessons of previous towers and review how we can improve the tournament experience holistically.
Mm-hmm.
We will recommence with the circuit with the Flame Tower in June. So that's verbatim with a couple more, punctuations. Just scream it. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Someone actually mentioned to me in the tournament, in the Earth Tower, they were like, "Hey, by the way, you don't tell everybody, but there might be pushing Forest Tower away. And then I went and someone mentioned that.
Someone
said that to
some
me.
info.
And I was just like, that's weird. Okay. And I mentioned it to Austin, and Austin's like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. He's just like, Hodag Fest is literally on this day. Like, it's all like, makes sense that it would be there. And I did not heed his warning, because after our, team meeting on Tuesday, going over all the cards and going over some options, I pulled out literally all my forest cards and stayed up until 2 a.m. like reading them, looking at them and stuff. Wake up in the morning, and then I guess they posted it at night, but they posted it at night yesterday and was like, nope. And I was like, damn, I should have listened. Should have taken a week and relaxed a little bit. But I can't.
Yeah, you should have built a constructed deck.
What's constructed? I don't know what that is.
We're all. What's funny to me is like we're all like doing the exact opposite of prepping for Caster's Cup by playing in towers. You know what I mean? Like it's a totally different game. But I find that crazy that somebody said that to you with towers, dude. Like
straight up said that to me. It was just like, yo, just so you know, they
like so offended that you said something to Austin and not to me, but that's a whole different story. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, decisions aren't like on a whim like that. So they're
bounce,
thinking about this before the tower most likely.
So here's my question. I mean, obviously everybody pretty much is upset about this news. Like we all as players want to play.
I'm not. I
kind of am. Like I was trying my best to make a way to get out there, even though I wasn't expecting to go out there.
Save and plan.
But I was gonna try to get out there, honestly.
I was gonna get you out there.
I think people were definitely gonna go. Right? It's fun. So I recorded my Earth Tower video already, and I talked about the Forest Tower. As part of it, so I need to go back and actually edit that stuff out now. But I was actually speculating that we wouldn't see a lot of attendance at the Forest Tower, and that I wouldn't be going to the Forest Tower because of how expensive it is to get there. So direct flights. I couldn't find anything cheaper than over $1,000. So I think it was $1,080 or something like that. And then trying to fly to surrounding airports and drive would save a bit of money, but wouldn't be all that efficient.
It would take 12 hours or something.
Yeah, so you could fly to Ford Airport in northern Michigan, that like the little tail that comes off, and then it's still an hour and a half drive. But it, after renting a car and everything, it really only saves you like $300. So you're still looking at like $800. In that scenario, the cheapest I found was flying to Chicago, because Chicago is huge, major airport. It was like $200 round trip tickets, and then renting a car from there. But then it's a 6-hour drive each way. So and I wasn't the only one to have those issues with travel. Most people I talked to, weren't going to go, or were hesitant to go because of the cost to get to Rhinelander. So, I think that's part of the decision, to be honest. I don't.
So here are my two thoughts, and I'm a fucking idiot. Let me just preface it with that. So
self-awareness is a really good thing.
So my one thought is maybe they weren't able to book a spot.
That's what I was going to say, but I was trying to be a little tactful about it.
I preface it with I'm an idiot. All right.
No, I don't think you're wrong, right? I
don't think they were able to book a spot in time that has to do with the Hodag Fest, or there wasn't enough room at the festival, or something.
They were like, we don't want you.
No, not that.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it is venue space and stuff like that as well. If you look at how things have gone for the last number of events, even into the end of last year, Metazoo doesn't really seem like it books its events or its venues far out.
It's like
you're living in the present, baby.
You're living in the present.
They're not planning ahead, man. They're not looking into the future. They're living in the present.
And that's been one of the complaints for players and people that, myself as well as a content creator, is, we find out about stuff a week or two before, like where something is, a week or two before we actually need to be there. Yeah. So being able to make the travel plans, to book hotels and all that is a challenge. I felt the same way with the Earth Tower.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I posted the day before we actually got the address. I was like, I don't post in the Metazoo Discord, but I posted in the main chat, and I was just like, 10 days away from tower, comma, no location.
Yeah.
So here's my question with like, I still want to stay on, obviously where we're at, but real quick, do you think they're going to release that information ahead of time now that we know Flame is like 2 months ahead of time? Like, do you think they're going to give us time to prepare with that? Is that one of the things they're trying to correct, you know what I mean? And like trying to improve upon and everything, like they said?
I mean, that would be the biggest improvement is,
I agree.
People need a month heads up. I would say
Well,
minimum.
what do they mean holistically? Like mind, body, and spirit? Like, what are they talking about? Like, what does that mean?
I would imagine it's not just, venue and communication and stuff, but stuff like the 60% rule and how all that's working, because you do see issues where everybody's basically playing the same 1 to 3 decks.
Yeah, they probably were like
little variation.
If they made it 50%, that would make a huge difference. And still keep it. Hey, it's half this fucking aura. You know what I mean? Like it's still this aura's event. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. And it would make a huge difference. Those 4 cards, if you're playing a 40 card deck, those 4 cards or 5 cards or make a huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah. You guys are both going to hate me right now.
I do anyway, so I don't understand why you're even prefacing with that.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to read it.
I need to use the restroom real quick.
What is wrong with you?
I really hate you.
What does that have to do with 420?
So it doesn't have to do with 420. This has to do with 420. but I am going to mute myself. You guys can continue on with the episode and talk about this forest and Flame Tower nonsense and stuff, and I'll be right back. All right?
Yeah. I don't want to lose this comment because it's important. So this is actually, so I'm on the side that I'm not too upset that Forest was canceled for a lot of different reasons. It sucks for the people that are really close to it.
Yeah. Arbiter's like, it's in my town.
Yeah, Arbiter's not far. Plain Bison, Claire, the Rusty Ranger, she's not far. She's a couple hours from there. I think it was Bizilatorius was talking in chat today that, the Forest Tower was driving a lot of the interest in new players in that area. And they're worried that it's going to kind of, it's going to dissipate because of the event being moved, not canceled.
I mean,
I honestly, I consider it canceled. I talked about this last night with Streamy. I do consider it canceled because if it falls to the end of the year, it's going to be in a different tower cycle. And
that I believe is accurate. That I wouldn't say it's canceled, but I think that it's going to be canceled in that area. I think that
I don't know about canceled in that area, but I'm considering it canceled because Casters Cup 2023
for the year. For the year, you're saying
it's going to be at the end of the year, right?
For the
October's
season.
Casters Cup 23. November would start the next tower cycle into the next Casters Cup.
Correct, because Casters Cup is the World Series of Metazoo.
Right. So this tower circuit was 7 towers. It's now 6 towers. Unless they move it to right before. I don't think they will double up any month. But
I wonder how they chose the auras that they chose and like how they like left the ones in the dust that they didn't even consider for the season type of thing.
Good question.
It
was light and cosmic.
I heard light was.
Light
I heard there was like some reasoning behind light. I think somebody was saying something, but it was like had to do with like.
Menehune?
No, if it did, I would have heard that news.
No, I honestly do think it does.
Getting the soul and like Sam's backpack, I think that it had to do with like
no Uktena.
So,
but sorry, before we move on, I actually do think Menehune, or rather Cryptid Nation, is part of the reason that it doesn't. It wasn't featured this year. So if it's featured next year, it'll fall in the yokai block. Cryptid Nation is, all the headliner beasties from Cryptid Nation base set. and what you have Sam and Menahune, and they're Sam is a headliner in terms of like the lore and everything. I don't see either of them being like a tower headliner beastie.
No, I get you.
Pushing it into
was
yokai, they can
Mess.
use yokai beasties as the headliners.
Neither was
Yeah.
Pink Mess, bro.
Pink Mess isn't a headliner. A single
He's
Sam
the
was.
plushie, so he's the headliner in my book.
No, single Sam was.
He was the plushie.
You're the plushie. So Forrest would have been Bigfoot
I want that plushie.
for the.
So
for the
I wanna pull up this comment real
Headliner.
quick. So Justin just commented, I really
Jay.
hope they change the format for Casters Cup. I truly believe it's tainting the game with a 3 times multiplier. So I've said this before, and this is my opinion, and it's not what I think should happen. Let me put it that way. I agree with everything Justin just said right there. I don't think they should do the 3 times multiplier in Casters Cup. But my question to both Deadly and Ian right now is going to be, with Mike last year on interview multiple times saying that he was upset that Casters Cup did not go the way he planned with the Blitz format and the pseudo environments and nobody changing their deck, do you think this is his way of making that kind of come true this year? Do you believe he's going to do the 3 times the multiplier so that maybe we all switch our decks for the pseudo environments for the Blitz format? Or do you think they're going to keep it kind of the format that they did last year?
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I mean, I just want to comment that, like, the setup in which Caster Cup was in the top 32, bro, to build a deck in like 15 minutes
Is wonderful.
I was spinning, bro. And then to play my first game, and I'm pretty sure it was against Lewis, and he was just like, nah, I'm just playing my main deck. And I was like,
it just happened to be ironically he was a Frost player and you were playing in the North Pole.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I'm gonna put Santa in this. I'm gonna put this. I already had a great deck, so it was like, kind of worked a little bit. But it was like it was in the North Pole, so really a Frost deck is probably better off than that.
Yeah.
Than throwing in Santa because he has bonus. I don't think that the Terra bonuses, are not strong enough unless you have a 3 times to dictate play a crazy amount. I think the active bonuses do, but really the 3 times just throws it to another level in which it's forcing people to actually do it.
Yeah.
So I want to hear Ian's opinion before I give my thoughts on what they're going to do.
Yeah,
not my opinion on it.
So do you don't want my thoughts on what they're going to do? Because I have thoughts on that.
You could do both. Yeah, you could do both.
So yeah, I agree that I don't. So I agree with you that I think the 3 times was a way to make up for that. I don't think it's going as planned.
I like
because the variety just isn't there.
I would agree with that.
There's
not enough cards yet.
There's not enough cards. Because when you break it down to just the aura type with the the 60% rule, there's just not enough variation for people to have more than a couple different options that they're going to do to benefit from that bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree that the idea is to offset the way the pseudos wanted to work. So what I would think would work better, I wouldn't even do 2 times. I would say no Terra bonus. Just keep it as it is. Still have the active Terras to incentivize some people to use certain cards if they want to benefit from that. Otherwise, why are you even putting these Terra bonuses on the cards as they are? Keep the 60% rule, 50%, whatever you want to. Keep it as your tower has to, your primary aura has to be what the tower is. That kind of keeps up with the lore, and it makes sense for it being, say an Earth tower. And then I don't know if you would do both days or just day 2. Bring back exactly how they did pseudo environment. I know you just talked against it. Exactly how they did Blitz and pseudo environments for day 2. So have day 1 be constructed whatever the hell you wanted to build for that aura. Your top 32 then needs to prove that they are proficient with that aura by participating in different Blitz environments, different fourth walls being active, different terras being active in each game.
Yeah.
I think Machado brought up a really good point too.
Matrata? I don't care about Matrata.
Which one? This one right here?
Yeah, the game is still too
I'm
young.
kidding. I love you, Matrata.
Because to be honest, I've lost like my fire to like really build constructed right now. So my main focus is like what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at our Terra bonuses and I'm like, well, what the heck's gonna be viable for fire? Like what do I think's gonna be there? And I literally was on TTS just running through cards and looking at Terra bonuses, and the only one that I think will be definite is Desert, but like that's not even definite. You know what I mean? Like it's not I don't know what goes with fire, honestly. Island,
Desert, I'm pretty sure is definitely.
I think
Desert,
so too.
Daytime.
Desert, daytime,
yes. Daytime. I'm pretty sure daytime too.
So sorry,
I'm gonna say
for my what I was just describing though, I think that Metazoo's just not ready to implement that way either. The idea is that we'll have set locations. We don't have those yet. I think that was a bit ambitious. So we're seeing things a bit more fluid, and what they did at Caster's Cup was they had the sets built and everything, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like if they're gonna do the Blitz pseudo environment where you're switching between rounds, they'd want to go big on that and not just kind of do it willy nilly. Thanks, Matrata. I appreciate it.
So I want to say I agree with Ian. First off, I don't think the 3x Terra bonus is working for how they intended to. We are kind of all building the same decks. Like there was maybe 3 or 4 different decks with like the rare different deck at Towers from what I saw.
So there's Giants, there was Tommy Knocker, was Esther.
There was the Worms, like full on Worms type of thing.
Burrows. And then some other people that just had Piazzas and the Magma.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's not like bringing out that creativity. It's not like it's just not working the way I think they intended to. It's kind of coming down to a little bit of luck and who could roll out faster type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But not my idea.
No, own it. It's your idea now.
No, it's not my idea. It's what I think they're going to do. And again, it's not what I agree with, but I think what they're prepping us to do in a way is we're going to have day 1 of Caster's Cup be normal, just constructed, competitive, Terra only, where you need to play the Terra pages for that stuff to be in effect. You need to have your deck built the way you want it to be built to be able to make it to day 2. And once you make it to day 2, I have a feeling it's going to be blitzed with 3x Terra bonuses.
That would make strategically that would actually make a lot of sense because that would still incentivize LGSs and players to when was the last time you played Constructed?
Last time I played Constructed was to qualify for Water Town.
So since then you've been practicing water, you've been practicing Earth events,
and here I want to
start practicing forest events.
I'm gonna. Where's the comment? Hold on.
Yeah,
there it is. By the time Caster Cup rolls around, people are gonna have forgotten how to play Constructed. This is something we talk about often in our team chat because it's true. We already forgotten how to play Constructed. I was looking at all native cards only for what I could play in Tower for Earth. To this day, still, I just opened my packages that I got from Immortal today. And I opened my booster boxes and all that stuff. I don't know what all these cards do. I haven't read all the flame ones yet. I haven't read all the forest ones yet. I haven't read all the light ones yet. I read all the earth ones. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what deck is even a possibility for like normal gameplay anymore. Honestly, I know the earth cards. I can tell you all the earth cards right now. So I kind of do agree with that statement. The way I phrase it is it's like they're almost like doing the exact opposite of prepping us for Caster's Cup. They're getting us used to a whole new game and a whole new format. And by the time Caster's Cup comes around, like, we're all going to kind of be like, what the you know?
Like, oh, I got to read all these cards again and take into account that they're not boost.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And
so,
even we learn the cards in the tower format. So like, let's just use Tehihan because I'm used to that right now with the tower that just passed with Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my head, Tehihan's hitting for 145.
No,
that's not even close to true. you know. So like I'm like remembering these cards wrong now and stuff too at the same time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think day one should be just straight up constructed in that sense. Then, I wouldn't mind if it was you have a couple active Terras by default versus having to play your Terras, but not having the 3x bonus on day one would make a lot of sense, and it would incentivize new players and LGSs to continue to do constructed.
Yeah. And obviously we need that for the game's longevity. For the game to succeed, they need to be playing at local game stores.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky where now I live next to a partner store, so
IHC.
Yeah, so shout out to them, man. But yeah, I'm lucky where I could go, and even I'm really fortunate actually. Like seriously, shout out to IHC. I was just talking to the one guy, Josh, today again. Mickey or whatever on Discord. But they even do Tower Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. So like they're incentivizing even tower play at their LGS.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing it in my opinion. You know what I mean? Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
IHC has a really good competitive following there. That's where Sean plays and a few other of the Loveland lads, right?
Yeah, the Loveland lads is their team. Their one player won the water tower. They've been topping at every event from Caster's Cup last year. Even I remember seeing them. So yeah, they're a Metazoo team,
Yeah.
Let's comment on Rao. Let's let them know if you go on to Metazoo Archives, you can figure out how to play by webcam. And Immortal has constructed webcam games that we all are playing. So if you don't want to keep playing by yourself, you can visit that website and get hooked up on webcam and join us.
I'll even say here, I'll highlight the comment real quick. I'll even say join our Discord if you're not already, man. Links in the description. We have a looking to play section. Shoot out a comment sometime. I'm looking to play, and if you got a webcam and everything like that, you might be able to find some people. Myself and Deadly sometimes play with no offense, but like random people. And we also love to teach people the game as well. And I've been saying this for weeks now, and I should make this more of a reality. But we do plan on hosting in the future some learn to play events. We did in the past. I was moving and things like that where they got kind of like pushed to the wayside. But, if we could get some interest, maybe we would host some more learn to play events in the Discord again as well. But anytime join the Discord, I'm Caster MJ in there. He's obviously Deadly in there.
He is Ian Swan.
he is not.
That's
Ian
my
Swan.
real name.
He is Cardboard and Coffee, but you could always add us.
I think I'm Cryptid Nation News in that one.
You might be.
It's hard to keep track because I have 3 different handles depending on the server.
Yeah, the one-eyed crow.
I should probably just stick with Cardboard and Coffee.
Yeah, stick with that. But yeah, if you're looking to play, you want to learn how to play and anything like that, please join our Discord. Links in the description. Add us. Whatever it is, we're willing to help you. We're willing to play games. We're just genuine
MZOs
the game. Yeah, there's a bunch of MZOs in there. So
Trotter just hopped in, said ask any questions. He's he is a master MZO. He is our go-to for all the
he's my second choice.
Who's your first?
Not you.
Anybody but Matrada.
What are you talking about? I'm like, Matrada, make me a tower deck, and then he makes it. Oh, like this looks good.
But no, yeah, please join Caster's Corner. Matrada is an active member in there as well. So like you said, anything you post in there, like we'll try our best to help. Granted, I already said it. I'm a fucking idiot. But you know, I try to play the game the best of my ability. So, you know, just join the Discord and ask for help and play some games. And you know, if like I said, if we get some interest in it, we'll play some more learn to play events and everything like that.
To run more tournaments.
Yeah, that too.
We'll hold them down and waterboard them.
They're every other week, aren't they?
There's something like that now. Yeah, they're back to being more consistent. How do I unsubscribe?
You also unsubscribe from Caster's Corner.
Just Venmo request him $5.
So back on topic though, going to like the Forest Tower news and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where it ends is that the next tower is going to be Flame. And it's going to be in Dallas. How are we feeling about that? And how are we feeling about like the extra time that everybody has? Again, we have no venue. We have no time. Well, I guess we have no time, but we have no venue. We have no exact location. Is it Fort Worth this time? Like they said Dallas last time and it was Fort Worth. Is it Dallas this time? Like we don't really know all the exact details and stuff like that. But still, how are you feeling with a little bit of extra time? And how are we feeling that we're skipping Forest and going to Flame?
I wanted to do Forest. I've never been a big Forest player, and this was my prime time to like really get involved and learn more cards. Like I told you, I literally have my stack of cards over here that I pulled out. It's like this, and I was like going to start building. It's very straightforward too. It's like Forest Terra bonus is definitely going to be active.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm over here just like I don't know, like. I mean, I guess I'll just go with Desert, and then I see the Piazza, and like I see a lot of straight direct damage. So I'm excited about Flame too, but I think that Forest actually we would have seen more builds. I think Flame is going to fall under the same. If they still do this the 3 times and everything, I think it's going to be very similar to.
I'm gonna flat out disagree with you, honestly. So. I was telling people this even at Earth Tower. I was like, expect Forest Tower to be kind of the same, where we see like maybe 3 different decks, and a little bit of luck is pretty much the factor. You know, maybe a little bit of spice, but I felt like everybody was either going to be playing like, you know, like a Sasquatch deck or, you know, like a poison deck or one of like the big decks that they have. And maybe like a tiny bit of little flair added in there at most, kind of just like Earth Tower was. And I think for Flame, and this is me being a Flame player, I think there's a lot of different things to do. I think there's a lot of different ways you could go. You could go Headless Annie, or you could go, you know, I don't even know. Well, there's like a lot of different where you
There's so much direct damage that's involved with Flame that like
it's very aggro. It's a very aggro style of playing. But with that, there's multiple different decks you could build with that aggro style. And we don't know the Terras. I get that.
Yeah.
But like
huge thing.
I think even Flame has a lot that could be mixed in with it. Like my deck that I currently use for Constructed, which again I haven't been playing recently, is my Burning Effigies deck.
I think that's a huge viability.
It's Flame Spirit. Mine is different than other Burning Effigies deck. I have that's an exaggeration, but I've very little to none BCs. I think I run a total of 5 BCs in my deck. Which is kind of unheard of in this game. You know, I believe I run literally 2 I think it's maybe 6. I have 2 Gassies, 2 Casey Jones,
Father Sam,
Piazza.
No,
I don't. No, I do have a Piazza. So
Lowers the cost, yeah.
it's Piazza, and then I have a Walking Salmon there too.
I
Those are
think
the
you take your spirit out and just go. I honestly think
but
effigies is really good.
those are the only BCs in my deck. The rest of it is kind of stalling you, using spells, getting those spells into my what is it, cemetery. I blank on the terms there, but cemetery. So then I could use them with Gassy, and really the effigies are doing all the work for the most part. You know, like I'm not. People are laying BCs out left and right, and I'm just like pass turn, effigy, pass turn, pass turn, pass turn.
I'm telling you, I really think effigies is viable for this.
It's a whole different deck, but I think flame is a lot that it could work with, and even like flame earth now is a thing. Not only like flame spirit, you know, like I think there's a few flame with all these deities, and again, I haven't read all the decks and everything like that, but it looks like flame light is a contender now. So there's a bunch of stuff, and this could just be me, you know, being a little biased and everything. I'm pretty excited for flame, honestly, and I'm excited that we have this time to prepare for it, where I could like really narrow in on maybe what I want to play.
I think effigies and 4th of July.
And I'm an effigies player. I don't know if effigies is good enough. It might be too slow with the terror bonuses.
Smoky spirits, stuff like that. Like just.
So that would be interesting because let me scroll up now. Hold on, this is a while up now. Well, oh man, I'm really scrolling up here. Here we go.
Damage and stuff.
90% of decks run lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
That's honestly that's why I'm excited for lightning towers.
So you saying smoky spirits? Oh my gosh!
Because you don't have to account for those to be.
I didn't even think of that, Ian. But let's not go there.
Kansas City.
That's interesting because even in my Earth Tower building. And you guys are a part of the team. You guys are on the team chat and everything like that. Ian, I know you don't even follow Discord anymore, but whatever. But I've commented once or twice, and then I corrected myself. I was like, "What if I play Smoky Spirits instead of Lightning in the Bottles?" And then, like, you know, some time goes into it, and I think about it, and I'm like, "Never mind. It's never going to be a more viable thing." Like,
it is for your effigies. Because the whole point is you want to keep your effigies alive.
That's what Deadly was just saying.
Well, my thing is if you have these major like bonuses. So what we did is you did throw effigies into Earth or one of them, and it was too slow. You know what I mean?
Threw it into Earth. Yeah, I wanted to do an Earth flame. I was trying to get a Piazza bird, and I was doing. I was definitely doing the effigies. Yes.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely viability to it because I was looking at the cards, and a lot of the really, really good flame BCs, you know, they're like 3 and upwards, unless you got I don't know. There's a couple of them that are decent, but if you get the double terror bonus, then they become really viable. But their LPs are relatively low. There's a couple big ones like the Tombstone dragon or something. He's like a 4-drop, but he's got high like 150, 180 LP if you get the terror bonus or something. I'm just thinking I want to try effigies first. Like throw a bunch of effigies. You have Gassy.
So what's that? I mean, not to get like completely off topic, but we're about to. What's that new native BC that has like it almost? To me, it doesn't even. It would be a beast. It looks like the sun almost.
Yeah, Lilla Billy Bob.
That guy's gonna be a beast, dude.
So the thing is his LP is super low, and there's so much direct damage. It's like, why can't I just, you know, kill him?
Like him. I don't know what it is about him. I read him one time and one time only, and I love it.
Blind spirit and like something else.
I wasn't listening. What do you guys think?
3 cost, and he's 3 per spell book.
The new native BC that almost just looks like the sun.
Yeah.
and he's for flame. Like it takes up like the whole artwork.
Bobanilli.
Yo, I think he's going to be something we see in Flame Tower.
And 100 with a Terra bonus.
Yeah, I might be playing him, dude. I was looking
He's
at
got
him.
like 30 or 40 LP, so I'm just like,
I am worried about it, dog.
Ocean? Or is that to BC? Yeah, that's the BC, and so no artifacts. I just think that there's so much direct damage that I'm going to be able to clear out the board a little bit.
So here's the thing. Flame has a lot. This is how my effigies deck works. A lot of spells.
Yeah.
This is going to be a format where maybe like Dampen is main decked, or maybe Cursed Contracts are main decked.
I don't think Cursed Contracts. It's going to be Scorching Pages, but go ahead, run a 2-drop. Go ahead and run a 2-drop fucking counter, bro. At best, you get Damping because it's a 1/1.
That might go
Scorching Pages is 2. I think
I might find a way to make my effigies Casey Jones deck work with this format. You know, I don't know.
I mean, he's 2 spirit. It's so aggressive.
Yeah, worry about yourself, dude. All right, how about that?
All right, I can't be the worst on the team.
Hey, I'm not even gonna say nothing. You know. But Ian, how do you feel about this whole like we have a lot of time? It's flame and not forest. All the above.
It's going to be rare. You know, a normal tower circuit, 11 towers, and then Caster's Cup. So even after this year, if we have all the towers, you're going to have a tower a month. So we're going to theoretically never going to see a 2-month gap like this again. So enjoy it. You know, I think it's good. Well, no, I take it back. I don't think it's good because of the comment that they are going to holistically review and make adjustments and all that, right? And if what we're kind of speculating is right, you know, maybe they won't continue with the 3 times and they'll try to figure out some other way. So all this time that you could be spending right now testing 3 times Terra bonuses could be useless. And that kind of goes with the other towers as well, as, you know, how much testing did we do that went out the door as soon as you found out what the active terrors were? You know, 3 weeks before the tower.
Like for Earth, like City was kind of like the oddball in there in a way, I would say.
I forgot about City, to be honest.
Most people didn't get into it.
Yeah, I don't. It's just because we.
Well, it actually was Earth. The Cement Worm had a City bonus, which is what gave it its LP boost. I think.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
That made it super viable. Otherwise, it was a 30 LP weenie.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So no, honestly, I don't think until we find out what the changes to the towers are, until we find out what the Terra bonuses are, you're better off just enjoying the game, and then waiting and I know, you know, people are probably going to disagree with me here. Enjoy Constructed for a little bit. You know, enjoy playing with your team for a little bit, and then figure out what you need to be building for competitive for Flame. I don't know. Otherwise, there's just going to be a lot of wasted time and ideas and stuff going into that next tower.
This is coming from a non-player.
Well, in his defense,
it is from a non-player, but you know,
there is still a lot of.
If things are going to get switched up, you're going to be possibly preparing for the wrong.
It's like I prepped for that one night for Forest, and then the next day it was just like, by the way, you don't have to do that. I'm like,
there are still a lot of people like Immortal Workshop, our sponsor for one, who host other tournaments that are not tower format. You know what I mean? So I think what Ian's kind of trying to say is like play some of those in the meantime and stuff like that. Like
enjoy the game. So you don't waste your time preparing for the wrong thing.
Get familiar with some of these native cards and have some fun with it and try some new things out and stuff like that, and mix some auras together, because we can't do that in towers. And you know, I agree with that for the most.
It's tough, right? Because you do want to practice, but I guess my concern is, if they do switch up the 3 times Terra, then you're gonna be looking for the wrong thing leading into it. It's what
It's
what
a
Sean had
double-edged sword.
said about Water Tower is, he had built this spell book that he was working with for Water Tower, and then they released the Terras and he threw it all away and started from scratch with something new, right?
That
So
kinda sucks.
okay, you can practice, that's cool, but I don't know. To me, that's wasted time that you could be enjoying doing something else with the game.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't compete in these towers, so I don't really don't
Do
take everything
you-
I say with a grain of salt.
Do you plan on competing in any of them?
It's actually kind of funny. Whenever I tell my wife that I'm going to these towers, she's like, "You're playing, right?" Because she knows what the prize pool is now. So she actually encourages me not to do content, but to play. Huh? No, I want to. I do want to. But if I do, I don't plan to go to the next tower until dark. So ways off anyway.
Yeah,
Unless,
I plan on being there.
unless something
for sure.
changes. Yeah, most people plan on being dark. And I love dark, so I would definitely play in dark. And I think what I'm seeing now, being at the first 2 towers, is that there's definitely downtime between games if you finish early enough that I could actually still get most of the same content I get now anyway. I would miss some, because obviously I wouldn't get like start of rounds content until day 2.
Yeah.
Film your own.
Unless you made it
Film
to
my
day
own
2.
I don't know if that'd be allowed to film my own matches, but yeah, honestly, if I go to another tower, I would likely try to compete and then do content between rounds.
I love that.
So
No,
I think
that's
I'm
a
gonna
great
try
idea.
for dark.
I think you
Just
should
don't
try
go to
more than, but okay. Anyway.
It's part of my relief.
Flame sounds perfect.
Flame sounds great. Part of my relief for Forest being moved, canceled, whatever you want to call it, is I can't afford to go to a tower a month. And that's what it comes down to, is like, okay,
relate.
cool. I want to be there. I want to go do content. I can't do that. So not going again until dark isn't that I don't want to go to Flame or Lightning or anything like that. It's just that financially it's not a sound decision for me. So I need to choose the towers wisely.
And hitchhike to every one, and you get 30 days in between.
Right.
Just live off a ramen noodle for the next 3 years or something,
Easy to eat when you have Metazoo cards.
The only reason I went to Earth was because I could drive.
If
it was another location, I would not have been there.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I get it. I 100% do. That's why I was able to go to Earth. My funds were low, and I just moved and everything like that. And luckily, I moved close by where I was able to drive. But my funds were tight at the time. That's how I know for sure I'll be able to go to dark. I'm only like 3 hours away going south for me now. Something like that.
Maybe I'll drive down to you, and then we'll carpool together.
That's 100% doable.
Me along the way.
Yeah. But,
to the dead end state that I live in.
But like my favorite aura type is Spirit. I don't know if I could get to Long Beach, man. Like, I really don't. It's going to be expensive out there. California just sucks in general as a state. No offense to anybody who lives there, but it's expensive. You know what I mean, for people who are traveling there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll be able to, afford hotel, travel, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I mean. But I know I was able to make it to Earth. I know I'll be able to make it to Dark for sure. I know I'll be able to make it to Caster Cup for sure. I'm going to try to make it to everything else in between that I can. That's kind of it. Like, whatever I can do, I'm going to do. But I can't, you know what I mean, go past like my means, and that's everybody's in that situation.
So what you got to do is you need to top a tower.
That's That's the best way to do it.
That trip's paid for, and then you have some money for the other ones.
I'll be real right now. If I was to top a tower, that's the down payment on my house, though. I'm not using that money to go to other towers. Buy the house, man. I need $20K. That's the $20K right there, you know? But yeah, I personally am super excited for Flame. I'm going to try my best again to make it to Dallas. I went to Dallas last year, but I need to know the information first. I need to know where it's being held, what date it's being held, you know, all that type of stuff, so I can plan ahead and figure out costs and everything like that. And I can't know a week in advance the way it's been going lately.
Yeah, it needs to be a month. You know, luckily I have a job where I can take time off kind of on a whim. A lot of people don't have that luxury.
So I have that luxury, but I don't have the funds, like we were saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just mean for some players, for some people that just want to go, you know, there are people that have jobs where you need to, you know, you have a schedule 2 weeks out, you need to give 2 weeks notice, etc. On vacation. So, you know, thankfully, I'm lucky enough to be a little more flexible. You know, we don't have like a 2-week rule. But that is a problem with what we've seen with Metazoo so far with some of these events, finding out stuff, you know, 2 weeks in advance, 1 week in advance, where we need to be for certain towers. Yeah, I mean, you knowing the date is one thing. So that does help with the I need such and such a day off.
Date and venue.
But yeah, the venue is, okay, if I take that time off, can I even afford to get there? Is it going to be easy, etc., you know?
Yeah. So
where do I get a hotel?
This is Deadly's fault. I'm just gonna say that. But last year, Deadly and I were staying in Dallas.
Oh, bro.
Because we thought it was Dallas Collecticon.
Dude, I looked at the Dallas Convention Center and I was like, dude, Airbnb right here.
Yep. It was in Fort Worth.
Yep.
So like that's the stuff I need to know. And like, yes,
I rented a car and I drove back and forth.
It said for Collecticon, it said Dallas Fort Worth, and I get like they're like this. I get that. They're a half hour, 45 minutes away from each other.
So here's the thing. Collecticon is really good about putting their locations out ahead of time, and you're an idiot.
I don't disagree with my
that was Deadly.
I don't disagree with that statement fully, but I definitely paid for it in sleep, dude. It was ridiculous, bro.
No, I could see that mistake.
But like for real, I need to know: you're saying it's going to be in Dallas? Is it actually going to be in Dallas this time?
Right.
You know, like
right, and it's not tied to Collecticon because Collecticon is in May, not June.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have
societies, you know.
I would have loved, and this is just a personal thing, I would have loved for it to have been in Austin instead of Dallas. That's just me. We went to Dallas last year. Texas is a big state. It's got a lot of great cities. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to have been to Austin, you know, but I can't go to two Texas cities in 1 year. So I guess I'm going to Dallas 2 years in a row. But yeah, I honestly have said everything that I wanted to say for this week. I don't know if either one of you have anything else to say, or if we're going to close it out for this week.
Subscribe to Cardboard and Coffee unless you're Mitrata.
Yeah.
Also,
well, he did. He did subscribe.
Oh wow, that.
Ooh, yeah.
I got a Galabox and UFO.
Oh, we didn't even talk about any of the stuff that they're apparently. Pin Club should be coming at the end of this month. We saw the clip for the PFP packs.
I'm not even worried. I've been waiting on these keychains and shit for fucking, I don't know, 6 months now. Exactly. So
it's been longer than 6 months, I think.
PFP what? Like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, give me my goddamn keychains. Let's do shit on time here, like in chronological order from like, we're buying this, we're getting this, we're buying this, we're getting this, we're buying this, we're getting. I don't want why am I getting stuff that I bought last week and I'm not getting stuff that I bought 6 months ago? That makes no fucking sense to me. But anyway,
To be fair, I'm really happy. Yeah, I get you want your keychains and you're weird and want keychains, but I'm happy with the shift that we're seeing right now of, okay, you put your order in, you have it 2 weeks later. You put your order in, you have it a week later.
We've seen that though, bro. It's not like it's new.
Yeah,
They've
but
done
then it
that
went
before
away.
with certain drops.
And then they shifted to what they didn't call it pre-orders. What did they call it? It was some other term, but it was basically shifted to pre-orders, where you were, buying stuff months in advance, and then it had expected shipping dates that never happened, right? So, having, we're gonna have to wait. Either way, we wait. It's the difference between giving Metazoo your money 8 months in advance or giving it to them a week in advance.
Yeah.
And that's typically where people get upset, right? And then I assume that's part of your keychain issue is you paid for that back in October, November, whatever. We're 6 months later. If they were announced then and delayed till now, you'd still probably not be happy, but I don't think you'd be as upset about it.
No.
So that's more the shift that I like.
So here's how I work, and this is partially being American in a capitalist society. You know what I mean? But like, yeah.
Yes, exactly that, Justin.
But being American in a capitalist society, it's kind of like I pay for stuff, I want it.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like how we're raised in America type of thing. Like again, a capitalist society.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm paying for this stuff and it's like, I paid you money. I got nothing in return. I got nothing.
Yep.
Where's my interest on this shit now? Like that in banks, if you give you money, like what? Like why am I paying? I'm paying for you to make the product. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense to me.
So in the last year, and I think this is where a lot of the frustrations come from, in the last year, Metazoo has put hype before anything. It's, hey, we're working on this. We're coming out with this. We're doing these mystery envelopes. You're going to have water packs. You're going to have earth packs. Cool. Let us know when it's actually going to happen. It's great that you have these plans that, you're excited about them. We're excited about them. And then when they don't happen, there's issues. So, moving to having better communication in general, but moving to a communication of a model of actually communicating something when it's going to happen, when it's set in stone, is where we need to be for the core community, for, really just the player base, people going to these towers, etc., people expecting everybody, even investors. I hate investors. Is to move to a communication model where you're not trying to hype stuff that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. No, I could completely agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the more eloquent way to say what I was saying, was over-promising and under-delivering.
Yeah, it's a hype train,
It's a hype train. And I get it, I do get it. I've worked for a lot of companies in the software industry that you have a team and their job is to get clients. And the way that some companies get clients is those people go out, understand what the customer's wants and needs are, promise things that don't exist, and then bring that to the engineering team to say, hey, you need to make this now. It never goes well.
Yeah.
Never goes well.
Even in my industry, which I won't get into, but the same thing happens.
Yeah.
People promise things left and right and stuff like that, and then they get to me and I'm like, oh, that's not really how it is. And then I look like the bad guy. Yeah, so I completely get that, but like that's just marketing and stuff like that. And like I guess like the ethics of marketing need to change and stuff like that in a way. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So Justin, this is exactly how I feel about Topps Chrome. I know we've been excited for it, and then it kind of dropped out of nowhere, and then having it in hand. It's exactly how I feel about Topps Chrome, and maybe that's just because I never really bought into Topps,
or maybe because Metazoo didn't print them.
Yeah, partially, but the other Topps
That's why I was
products
wondering
didn't
about
necessarily. The other Topps products had issues too.
Did they?
Yeah.
I've never bought it, but I find myself watching people rip these, and I actually like watching people rip them. I think they're the chase cards, but don't think I would buy them myself. Yeah, I saw you post that. It's pretty awesome.
I never bought Topps, but I have some Topps cards that I got from trades and such. And
that's a sick one.
Oh shit! You got a serialized one, huh?
Yeah, serialized 99 of 99.
And it's a Quetz, which is a dope.
And it's a Quetz, yeah. No, that's awesome, man.
What is it? Orange border or
green?
Green.
And is it 99 out of 99?
Yeah, I got
that's pretty
the top, the last number.
That's pretty wild. But we're almost at 2 hours now.
These cards are awesome.
I'm ending the podcast.
Silver border.
That's dope. That's dope also.
Anyway, I'm excited.
So Ian, you were mentioning to follow your channel. What else you got for us?
That was it.
That was it. Deadly, you got anything you want to say before we close out this episode?
See you next week.
We're prepared to close today.
What was that, dude?
Come back next week for the same enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot. I will maybe think about doing Constructed.
I'm thinking about it.
No, I think that's the right. I think it's the right choice, and I do. I'm not even gonna. I know that I don't play as much as you guys competitively, but I think Constructed's the way to go. Not only from just kind of getting out of the mindset of competitive, but learning what the cards actually do, like you said.
Maybe we do a live game.
Maybe I'll start playing again.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a gameplay episode or something like that.
I actually have an idea for that. Because we can both stream at the same time with StreamYard. We could stream our respective games to our own channels so people could bounce back depending on who they want to watch.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
actually show our hands on the fucking thing because you. Oh no, you couldn't because you'd still have to be able to see the board. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But I like where you're going with this. So on my end, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 250 subscribers so we could do a giveaway. So please help us get there. If you haven't already, like the video. And there's a few links in the description for you guys to check out. 1, Cardboard and Coffee is there. 2,
Yay.
There's an affiliate link for our sponsor of Mortal Workshop, which I mentioned in the beginning. So if you're shopping Metazoo, please shop with Mortal Workshop. He's a partner with Metazoo, and you will see an affiliate link in the description below. So that will give you a little bit of a discount there. So it'll help you out with your Metazoo purchase. Also, you'll be able to find the Metazoo Archives link in the description below. That's basically Cutthroat Pie filling us in with everything we need to know about Metazoo. So please check that out. And yeah, that's kind of it. There's also our link to our Discord, which I mentioned in the episode. Please come on and join our Discord. You could ask us questions. You could just talk the shit about Metazoo. You know what I mean? We could shoot the shit. Talk anything you want. There's specific groups for anything you need. So if you have gameplay questions, you want to buy, sell, trade, anything, just join the Discord, and there's pretty much a section for you. But yeah, I already highlighted that. That's the last note.
You took my line.
That's the last note of the episode.
Of all things for me and Matrada to fight about tonight, this is the one that upsets me.
Well, yeah. So that's it for this week, though, guys. We appreciate everybody watching. And yeah, we'll catch you next week with another episode of Cryptid Conversations. I just want to restate this because Ian wasn't here when I stated it. This is our 25th episode. And
25th.
It's taken us this long to get to 25?
I'm surprised we've made it to 25. So it's pretty amazing to me. But yeah, we'll catch you next time, guys. And we appreciate everybody watching. See you soon.
Now we stare awkwardly at the camera until you hit the
until it